Red Sox trade talks are escalating as a brand new report has revealed a wild trade idea involving the Boston Red Sox and the Philadelphia Phillies. I'm here to break down the lucrative trade and how it absolutely should not be done by Boston. We'll break down the bad, we'll break down the good, and the other options available this offseason for the Boston Red Sox. We'll break down all of that on this episode of Red Sox Digest. But first, please do remember, scroll down and smash that subscribe button. We do appreciate all the love and support, so thank you guys. But now let's get to it and break down, is Alec Bohm the new third baseman for Boston? I'm here to tell you, please no. Please no. If this is the end result by the time the offseason comes to a close and we are working into spring training, into the regular season, and Alec Bohm is the starting third baseman for the Boston Red Sox, and in order to get him here, they gave up someone along the lines of a Jarren Duran, I am going to crash out at the highest degree. And you may be thinking, Houston, you're overreacting. Why would you? Alec Bohm's a damn good baseball player. They need to move someone from the outfield of this current Red Sox team in order to open up another opportunity and really stop the just logjam that's going on in the outfield because of the surplus of talent. I'm here to tell you there are too many great options that you have available this offseason that could allow you to move someone like Jarren Duran in exchange for Alec Bohm. At third base, I understand the market isn't massive, but again, there are a handful of options, Alex Bregman and others, Murakami. There's a bunch. Whether they're the Japanese players coming over in that small window of 45 days where they have to sign, whether it's Alex Bregman in a reunion for more years. There's a lot of different things. You could stay in-house, Marcelo Meyer, Christian Campbell. You could even try to go out and get Bo Bichette and have him at third base. There's a lot of different conversations and a lot of different pieces that could play third base. I'm here to tell you, if the Red Sox, if and when they do trade Jarren Duran, because it seems like every single time we hear his name now, it's involved in a mock trade, a trade package, or some top analyst or insider is breaking down how Jarren Duran's the most likely Red Sox to be traded. And I don't enjoy it because I love Jarren Duran. I love him a part of this team. And I think he's a spark plug with a swing of a bat can turn the entire city of Boston on its head. But it seems like he's out on the way out, unfortunately. And with that being said, we have a new article, a new breakdown, a new mock trade involving Duran and the Phillies, and specifically Alec Bohm. In the idea that Alex Bregman would then become the third baseman of the Philadelphia Phillies, in free agency. Kyle Schwarber would then walk from the Phillies and land elsewhere, possibly Boston. But because of that, the Red Sox would then move an outfielder in Jarren Duran to Philadelphia in exchange for their old third baseman, because of the Alex Bregman then taking the defensive spot, in Alec Bohm to then replace Bregman in Boston. A weird dynamic because a free agent from Boston ends up in Philly, and then Philly makes a trade with Boston to then replace the position they took from them. It's a weird dynamic. I won't argue that, but this is something ESPN went on to break down. Eric Cora, I believe I'm saying it correctly. The Red Sox may need someone to play third base, and Bohm, while no match for Alex Bregman, is a capable hitter and defender. The Phillies could then get a more consistent third baseman who enjoys playing in Philadelphia. Duran would fill Philadelphia's center field need, and it would create some opportunity in a crowded Boston outfield. Trades can work for both teams. It doesn't work for both teams because here's the thing. You're selling Alec Bohm at this level. This is 2025 Alec Bohm. If you go through his career and you look at some of the years he has had outside of the 2024 season where he was an all-star and he had a 3.0 WAR, what are you really going off of here? Like, if you go through it and you see his rookie year, he came in second in Rookie of the Year. That's pretty good. A .7 WAR. He only played in 44 games. Take that with a grain of salt. But then you look through a negative 1.2 WAR in the following season, a sub-1 WAR, sub-1 WAR. Then last year, 2 years ago, 2024, he had that 3 WAR season where he was an all-star. He was a damn good ball player. Rob Thompson, right, Rob Thompson had to shut down all of these rumors and all this speculation at the All-Star break because everyone was trying to get in on Alec Bohm. They were calling the Phillies about him. What's the asking price? You got a 27-year-old All-Star who's peaking right now. It looks like he's going to have a long career out in front of him. Let me take him off your hands. I'm here to tell you, well, all those teams got lucky that Alec Bohm wasn't given up to him, because after that season that looked like this, and on the underlying metrics and looking at the stats with the WAR and everything else, things changed and things went down just a bit. As a right-handed hitter, he didn't have the ability to pull the ball this year. Look at the spray chart for last season. Look at the spray chart for this season. Vastly, vastly different. Not hitting the ball very hard, not hitting the ball very far, and not pulling it to his strong side. Rather trying to hit it to over the second baseman's head, trying to hit it between second and first and to the opposite field, which is good if you have the ability to do that. But when you can't rely on something like he did in 2024, where he was consistently pulling the ball to left field as a right-handed hitter, it's the production and the overall effectiveness and efficiencies went away, and you see the underlying metrics dip severely from 2024 to then last year in 2025. And this is the conversation and where it gets a bit interesting. And I might be showing a bit of bias here, but I would love to hear if you guys feel the same way. Because I don't believe I'm being really quick before we get to Duran. Alec Bohm has one more year of arbitration, so he has one more year of control in the sense of team control. Also a bit lucrative in that sense. But now we get to Jarren Duran. And you're going to say, Houston, those underlying metrics are hard to look at. Where I'm going to tell you, you're absolutely right. I watched Jarren Duran play in basically every single game he participated in this past year. And in the big moments, especially against Max Fried in the wild card, it makes my head want to rip my hair out of my head every time I think about it. When he was up, 3-0 in that count, and Max Fried was able to throw 2 consecutive balls that were called for strikes because of swings by Duran as he was looking to hit one a country mile, and it just didn't work. He ended up striking out on a pitch that, after swinging at the first 2 balls, he decided to not swing at the only strike he saw all at bat. It very infuriating. The big swings were not there for Jarren Duran. The big moments were just a little bit too big for Jarren Duran last season. But here's the thing. Like I mentioned earlier, he's a lightning bolt. When he strikes, when he goes off, he is a spark plug. Not only to this team, not only to the organization, but the entirety of Boston, the entirety of Fenway as it's built. He is just a lightning strike. A shot into the gap is not a double, not a triple. It could possibly be an inside the park home run. Something that we saw this past year from Jarren Duran. Running and running and running. If you look at the base running value, I don't know if there's anyone with a higher value or percentile in the league. He is that fast. He is that good at running the bases. And I know the offensive metrics aren't great. A lot of average stuff. And then when you look at the swing and miss rate, it is way below league average. And that is not something you're looking for. But when it comes to the fielding, as well as the base running and the periodically well-timed swing, no way we're giving up Jarren Duran. And here's what I was getting to when I say this is me showing my bias. Alec Bohm, when being traded this offseason, you are getting this Alec Bohm. And yes, the Phillies are going to be like, well, in 2024, you had a 3 WAR and this and that. This is the Alec Bohm that everyone's going to be buying. When Boston is selling Jarren Duran, you are not getting this Jarren Duran. You are being sold 2024 Jarren Duran. And this is why it's so interesting, because both these players kind of model each other in that sense, where the underlying metrics and the overall production were vastly better just a year before in 2024, and then 2025 wasn't great. If this is the Jarren Duran that will be traded for by the Boston Red Sox, or for anyone for that matter that is trying to acquire him from the Red Sox, I should say. This is the Jarren Duran, because this is a piece on any championship level team that fits in and excels. It is a spark plug and something that is going to be just undoubtedly just unstoppable in some senses. Even if he's hitting for low average but he can work the walks. Once he gets on base, he's moving around the bases. And when he's hitting for that average, he has a little bit of sneaky pop. And all he needs is one in the gap. All he needs is one down the line. And Jarren Duran is going to run until he runs out of breath. And I promise you, it's going to be a while. The kid is as fast as a cheetah, and he can run and run and run. And we saw him do it a lot last season. Only problem was he wasn't hitting for that good of an average in comparison to 2024, where he was the All-Star Game MVP. He is built for these moments, and it's something that he could excel at if he is given the right opportunity. I think he's been in the right opportunity. He just had a down year. If Boston takes another chance on him and retains him in-house in Boston, I think we might have a year that looks like 2024. That's me being optimistic and being hopeful, and hope is not a plan, I know. But do you really want to move someone like Jarren Duran in exchange for Alec Bohm? If you're moving him for a high-tier pitcher that's going to be the number 2 or 3 guy in this starting rotation, I will not cry as long and as hard. I won't. I will be upset that Jarren Duran's gone. But if you can go out there and add a piece of pitching, I won't argue. I won't fuss. I'll kind of question it unless it's blasphemy. But in that case, when you can add pitching like that, or obviously a dominant bat and one that's just undeniable, Shohei, Mike, that's not going to happen. If you can move him to the Royals and get a good pitcher, or the Marlins and get a good pitcher, good pitcher, Edward Cabrera, Sandy Alcantara, Chris Bubich, there's a lot of names. Hunter Green, even to the Cincinnati Reds. Those are real conversations. But for Alec Bohm, I understand the right-handed bat may be needed in this lineup, but there are so many good right-handed bats on the free agency market, including Pete Alonso, including Alex Bregman, including Akamoto, the Japanese player that's coming over. And there's more. Bo Bichette's another right-handed option. There are a lot of great names available, and I think that the Red Sox should go in a vastly different direction rather than moving someone like Jarren Duran in exchange for Alec Bohm. Go out and get a good pitcher, or if you're going to move Jarren Duran, go out and get something that adds more depth that is unquestionable to this Red Sox team, and allow the free agency spendings to go fill these major gaps at key positions like third base. Because if you look at the markets, to round out this video and just to close things out, if you look at the free agency markets and then you look at the trade markets for both starting pitchers and then again for position players, the difference is insane. If you want to go out and acquire a pitcher this year, this offseason, I should say, you make a trade because of the names that have been put on the trade market. Freddie Peralta, Hunter Green, Mackenzie Gore, Sandy Alcantara, Edward Cabrera, Chris Bubich. The names go on and on and on. Cole Reagans, the names are never going to end. There are so many good all-star level names available via trade in the starting pitching department. But then you look at the free agencies and it's not great. The names aren't nearly as good as the names we just listed. But then you look at the position players, specifically guys that can play corner positions in the infield or possibly even shortstop like Bo Bichette. You have Bo, you have Pete Alonso, you have Alex Bregman, you have Kyle Schwarber. No defense, I understand. But again, the bat is what we're talking about here. And then you have all the Japanese guys that are coming over from the KBO that have all shown the ability to not only hit pretty damn well, but also play a decent level of defense at both corner positions at third and first. If you're trading Jarren Duran, it better be for some pitching. Let me know down below your overall thoughts and opinions on these ideas, and I will see you guys on the next episode of Red Sox Digest.